This morning, the family of a deceased Mississippi man demanding answers after an alleged brutal racist attack and a new set of possible remains after a series of other body part discoveries. According to police, 25-year-old Rasheem Carter was last seen in Laurel, Mississippi back in October. After complaining to his mom, he was being followed by white men in trucks yelling racial epithets. Police confirm Carter sought help at a local police station.
I'm the mother that's going to keep standing, that's going to keep fighting, that's going to keep doing what I have to do as a mother to get the justice that my son deserved.
His family and civil rights attorney Ben Crump calling for justice, insisting Carter was mutilated.
We know that this was not of natural causes. This was a Mississippi lynching in 2022.
The Smith County Sheriff telling ABC News his office initially ruled no foul play was involved in Carter's death. But now the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, who has taken over the case, says it's an ongoing investigation. The sheriff adding in a news statement, quote, "Our goal is to uncover the truth, regardless of outside opinion or influence, and to bring closure and truth to Mr. Carter's family." According to Carter's autopsy report, a cause of death is undetermined at this time. His mother accuses local authorities of trying to sweep this case under the rug.
Mississippi, all America is watching to see if you're going to do right.
The family of Mississippi man whose dismembered body was found in November said his newly released autopsy report shows that he was murdered, and they called for, a federal investigation into this case on Monday, okay? So Rasheem Carter was 25 and last seen October 2nd of 2022. On November 2nd, his decomposing body was found in a wooded area about 21 miles away in Taylorsville, which is around the same area where this other guy was found. So at a news conference on Monday, alongside the Carter family,
that I, asked him to do. They told him he couldn't stay there. He didn't stay there. He texted me after he left the police department, and he said that, Mom, if something, he told me, we're not seeing eye to eye. My boss and I are not seeing eye to eye. And then he put his boss name there, and he put the company name there. And he told me if something happened to him, his boss was responsible. And he said, Mama, I'm smart. He got these men trying to kill me. And he texted me that after he actually left the police department that particular night. And then later on, once they found his remains, they told me when I went back there that when they first found it, I never got the opportunity to see it the very first day when they found his remains. So the next day, which was November the 3rd, they allowed me to go back there, and they showed me where his remains were found. But when I went back there, immediately the Holy Spirit told me it was foul play. And then I told the sheriff, I said that, he said, when I told him it was foul play, he said, no, it's no foul play. That's what he told me. And he tried to.
So a civil rights attorney said that the Justice Department should take up the case after local police said that they had no reason to believe that this man's death was a result of foul play. What? This man is decapitated, and you're going to sit there and you're going to say that there is no reason to investigate further? What in the world? One thing is certain, this was not a natural death. This represents a man who was killed. Obviously. So the sheriff department did not elaborate why they believed that there was no foul play or what led them to the wooded area where Carter remains were found. So Carter's autopsy revealed his head had severed from his body, and some of his body parts were found in different locations. Okay, this is the exact same as Tyrique. Some of his body parts have been found. Some of his other body parts have not been found. Found other body parts, and they're doing DNA tests and stuff right now to figure out whose it is. Dude, it could be Rasheem's, since they never fully recovered them. I'm just saying, they're close enough that it could have happened. So his family said that the day before the disappearance, went to the Taylorsville Police Department and reported that he feared for his safety because there were men after him. They said that they believed his killing might have been racially motivated. Tyrese, also, his mother claims that he called her saying, yo, some white boys are following me. What do I do? And said to call police. Now, I don't have the 911 call if he did or not. People are claiming, yeah, for sure he did. I don't have that, so I'm not sure. I'd assume he did. And if he did, obviously they didn't do anything. So, what? A friend of mine was saying this Carlee case could be to distract away from these cases that are happening right now of people murdering other people. Who's to say? And then, just gonna put this out there. There's a whole thing with the lizard people, right?
A toast to blood.
So what if these people are the lizard people? Or what if these people think that these other people are the lizard people and taking them out and then eat? I don't know. I am speechless right now because I just don't know. I'm gonna just kind of, do a shout out here to Runaway Slave at 2.0. He did a whole thing on Therese. I personally think that his tactics on the video are racist towards white people, in my opinion. I will link it. I do think that he had some very good information. I think that too, maybe he has some experience, bode well with white people, and that's why. But the term cracker thrown out a lot, and the term watch out for white people. It seems like he's using more of a scare tactic and saying this doesn't happen to white people. Actually, though, I found out there were similar things happening to white women, chasing them down for sport, and children. So I do think that he has a good message, and I do think that there's a lot of good things in that too. So he does a better job of explaining the Tyrique Atwood case. Again, I don't agree with the white cracker stuff. I don't agree with racism in any form. I don't care if you're white, black, whatever. That's not okay. That's not okay. But I do want to share his video with you guys. I do want to share it with you guys because I do think they have some good information. If you guys have anything to say about this, please let me know.
So when they did get to Tyrique, they did what most normal people in America would do after something like this has happened. Some dudes, 5 dudes take you, snatch you up, throw you in the truck, abuse you. You got to kick your way out, chase you in the woods, bite you, knock your tooth out, They said, okay, let's go to police. They went to the police department, the Taylorsville Police Department. Now, people, this is the same police department that refused to help Rasheem Carter when his mother went there, okay? Well, when his mother told him to go there on the phone. So they go to the Taylorsville Police Department. Now, when they went there, the Taylorsville Police Department, after they told the police everything that he went through, their response was, well, what did you do for that to happen to you?
What did you do to have them you? What? This man has been bitten. He has had a tooth knocked out. They literally were hunting him down. What did you do? What? It was 5 against 1. And you're going to sit here and say that is never okay. That is never okay. This police force needs a whole makeover. Cop should be fired. That is not okay. That is not okay to ever say to any victim. Screw that. Rasheem was able to contact his mom and say, hey, I'm going to be with these type of people. Like I've said, I just heard about Rasheem's case today. So, hey, I'm going to be with these type of people. This is who I'm with. Who I'm working with. So this is why too, guys, I think that Truth Finder is so important and can help you out so much because you never know. You never know who you're going to go out with. You never know who you're working for. You never know any of that. So if you can go on there and just have like that peace of mind and have that little bit of know that they don't have domestic violence against them, know that they don't have sexual assault against them. And if they do have something that you can talk to them about and be like, hey, this is concerning to me, like get the explanation, get the story, or even go to the county and get a police report. That way you have that information. And
They're taking people to tell us, but hey, why not take people where you got the police and law enforcement in your corner, the only people that somebody can go to when something like this happens?
I can't argue with that. Why do you think Ted Bundy went to the locations that he did? Because either he knew the cops, he knew that they weren't going to connect the dots because that's how the system worked. He knew that, it just was going to get overlooked. If these people in that town are if they're racist and if that happened, let's say in Alabama where Carlee was, they'd be on top of it. They'd be on top of it. And it's really sad that depending on where you live in the community and the people that are sheriff and governing that particular town can do stuff like this.
So when you see people say things like, how do you know this is true? What's the proof? They're in on it, okay? They're in on it.
I've got to disagree. Just because someone is questioning you and asking you, how do you know? Where's the proof? That doesn't mean that they're in on it. Just because they question you does not mean that you're not, especially okay, this could go into it too, especially with the Carlee Russell case right now, with Carlee Russell making everyone question everything, which really sucks because yes, abductions do happen. And yes, sex trafficking does happen. And murder and decapitation, is obviously happening. But can we trust someone now? Questioning the truth does not mean that you're in on this. It doesn't. Like I said, I would love to see those videos. That'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to see the phone records from Tyrique's to his aunt and the GPS location, of them going there. I'd love to see all that. That would conclude as proof. I'm not saying this didn't happen. Obviously, I really think this did happen. I'm just saying, if you're questioning someone because they are questioning whether or not this is legit and saying, well, they must be wrong if they're questioning it. We could do the same thing with a Carlee case. Well, if you're questioning that she's was abducted, then you're obviously lying and you're obviously against us. Okay, so Dwight says, I think Carrie is her own little world and she and her family ain't paying law enforcement no mind. And at some point she's going to have to face the music when they done whatever they decide to do to arrest her. I agree. I mean, even the cops, though, they were because people were are you going to press charges on her for, using all these resources that didn't need to be used? And they're oh, I never even thought of that. That didn't even cross their mind. But now, they can't even close this case unless they talk to her, and she will not talk to them. I mean, even they said in press conference, oh, we're just giving her and her family time to kind of figure things out. They haven't been jerks and been oh, well, she's not talking. We obviously know she's not talking. She owes them an explanation. She owes everyone an apology. Which makes me think that she planned this whole thing. And I think that her mom's in it too. But could that be taken away from cases like this? Absolutely. But does that mean also that if someone is questioning whether or not this case is legit and where's your proof, does that give them a valid reason to question that? Absolutely. Both are true. But does that mean too that maybe we should be going more and investigating more and demanding more answers? I mean, you don't have to give them your money, but maybe going there and like, being like, hey, where's the rest of the videos? Not being destructive. I'm not saying being destructive and like protesting all that. Not the destructive kind, but maybe going there and be like, hey, I want to see this video. Make it public. That'd be very interesting. I'd like to see what he has to say to that. And like, how are they all connected? And again, like, I know people are going to ask, what proof? Again, that's a valid question. That is a valid question. And there should be police reports for these. So I'm actually going to go to Taylorsville, Mississippi, I'm going to request them to their county and request that we get these police reports, see what they say.
Get a gun. You know what I mean? What is it? I think an open carry state. Show that you got it. If not, don't put you, because everybody can't have a gun and everybody shouldn't have a gun. You know, I see a lot of times in their response to these situations is, we got to be carrying. Yo, everybody can't carry a gun, y'all. Everybody's not disciplined enough to carry a gun. Carrying a gun is not just like carrying a bottle of water. You have to be prepared to carry a gun mentally, physically. You have to know what's going on. You have to know how to take the gun apart, clean the gun, operate the gun. You got to know gun safety. Everybody can't carry a gun.
And you don't know how to properly use a gun. I think that's where a lot of the times we end up with, we just had a 3-year-old shoot a 1-year-old. See, I do agree with that. I do think that, yeah, not everyone should own a gun. Not everyone. I personally have anxiety. I do love my bow. I have a bow, but I also feel like I have more control over the bow. I have shotguns before. I don't like them. Okay. I shake. Maybe it's because like I know the power within it. Like, and I'm afraid I'm going to do something and I have ADHD. Like, and I can be clumsy. And my husband has guns. We have them in our house. No. Why? Because we don't have a safe. So we keep them somewhere else at his parents' house where they do have a safe. And it is locked up and it is taken care of. And they do know how to take care of it. And do I think that too, that kids should learn what to do when there is a gun? And how to respond to it, how to use, if you have to pick it up, what to do? Absolutely. Even if there is no, the whole thing that holds the bullets, there could still be one in the chamber. We just had two just recently, and this is absolutely terrible. This teenage boy was playing around with a gun. There was nothing magazine. There was no magazine in it. And he's done it before where he just plays around with his sister and is like, oh, I'm gonna shoot you. I don't know why, but anyway, it shot off and he killed his sister. And then he starts screaming, I'm sorry. That mom just lost 2 kids. And I don't know her situation. I don't know. She said that she had it for protection because she had someone come in her home. And so she had it for protection, but she didn't have a safe for it. She had the magazine in her dresser, so she thought that it was safe. I don't know why the gun was just on the counter, but it was. And that makes me absolutely sad and terrifying. And it makes me sad too that, some people think, oh, well, I do need this gun I do need this for safety. I do feel like he is hyping it up that, we need to be scared and on alert all the time. I don't feel like that's the answer. I do feel like you do need to be alert. And if you're by yourself, you need to know your surroundings and just be self-conscious about that. But he's right. Not everyone owning a gun is the answer. Just plain and simple. It's not the answer for everyone. I personally think too, if you have kids in the home, or if you have kids even coming over, grandkids, whatever, you need to have a safe. And if you can't afford a safe, and you shouldn't have, I'm not saying don't have a gun, but don't have it in your home. See if you have a friend or family member that has one. I know too, here we have lockers. Again, people are like, oh, well, that defeats the purpose of having a gun if it's not available to you right away. What's better? Having that gun right there or having your loved one be alive? I mean, if you know that you're going to be going out and you're going to be alone in a situation and you know that's going to happen, sure, take the gun and protect yourself. But you can go get that from the safe. Okay, I do want to say too, I do think that he has a lot of fair points on here. I do feel like those are made. And I do feel like too, yeah, people are doing this. The public needs to know about it, right? We need to know. We need to be on edge and on the lookout for this type of stuff, right? Being terrified of every white person that comes across you is not the answer.
Nah. You in a situation right here in this cracker town out here or anywhere, and you have a beef to the point where you said if something happens to you, it'll be this white dude. You got beef with all the white dudes at that job, man. The white girls, humor, everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Diversity and culture and everything like that. We're gonna avoid them. And we're gonna teach our children and their children to be terrified of the white people. That is not the answer. Do I know exactly what the answer is? No. I can tell you, scaring your family and being afraid of someone because of their skin color. What's the definition of a racist? Not hating someone just because of the way that their skin color is? Actions? Yes. Now, these 5 men are terrible human beings. Anyone that would do that is a terrible human being. But again, like I said too, this has happened to children and women back in the 2000s era, and I don't remember it being a big thing. I will do a full story on that on a different episode, but I don't remember that being a big thing. Obviously, he doesn't either. One thing I did notice, and maybe he'll mention it later, we don't have any names of these bad guys. I don't know if he knows them, but that would be interesting to see.
Beef with a white person, just take it like you got beef with all of them, man. That's all you could do.
If you got beef with a white person, you got beef with all of them. Again, though, isn't that racist? Just saying, if you're going to judge someone based off of their color, that's racist. I'm not saying don't be careful. I mean, shit. If you're going to do a job with someone, like I said, get on TruthFinder and look them up. See if they have a past. See if they have anything sketchy that you have to worry about. And also, trust your gut. Like, your gut feeling sometimes can be like the best thing for you. But no, I can't tell you how many people, like, okay, for example, I don't remember what state it is, but it was just a few months back. There were the 2 girls that went with the one man who was like a family friend or whatever, and they went on a vacation wherever, and then they found the 2 girls' bodies as well as like 7 other victims and the perpetrator's body. Well, turns out if you just did a TruthFinder search on that guy, guess what? You would have seen that he was a sex offender. Would you really let your 2 daughters go with a sex offender on a vacation? I don't freaking think so. And one of the dads came out and was like, well, I wish there was a way that we could have known that he was a predator. Are you kidding me right now? TruthFinder. Seriously. And I link it down below and I talk about it a lot. And that's because, guys, I use this all the time. I help look up friends, boyfriends, just to make sure that they are decent human beings. I look up random people. Yeah. Like people will just ask me, hey, will you look up my boss for me? And yeah, I'll look him up and I can tell you, yo, this guy's got a lot going on, or there's nothing, not even a speeding ticket on this guy's record. Or, yeah, he's cool. His credit sucks, but you know what? We all make mistakes in that way. I agree with a lot of what this guy is saying, but I'm just saying the fear level of let's put fear, especially into our youth, about white people. Dude, that's what causes racism. Like, stop. This is absolutely terrible. This is absolutely not okay. These men should be punished for this. Yes, we should get the word out about this more. And yes, the things like the camera, police reports, all that should be public. I think that would solve a lot of questions. I actually really like this guy, besides like the little racist stuff. But I think he's had some trauma maybe with white people before. And it burned him. All right. Just out here because the description says 2 white men with bald heads and tattoos on their heads. Like, that's what you're looking for. Dude. Okay. I try not to judge people by their tattoos on their tattoos and everything. But let's face it, there's only one reason why you would tattoo your face or head, and that's trying to look tough. Or you're just old and badass and just, you're saying, fuck it, I don't care. Or, I've been reading this book, Confessions of a Psychopath, and you might be a psychopath and just don't give a shit. But, again, I would also probably be concerned if I saw 2 men, doesn't matter, black, white, whatever, with tattoos on their heads, and they're just like driving around a van. Hello, van scream. I disagree, man. I disagree. One person does not make a full race. We could say the same about anyone. Oh, I had beef with one black guy. Oh, okay. Well, I guess all of them are bad. No, that's not. No, dude. And I'm sorry that you feel that way. Do you guys have any thoughts on this? Like, I mean, do you agree? First off, do you agree? Like, if you got beef with one race, you got beef with all of them? Every human is an individual, in my eyes. And you should judge that individual on that individual, not as a whole. I think one thing I respect. I'll respect you, respect me. That's it. We can disagree. We can disagree all day on things. Like, this guy, obviously, I disagree with how he sees race. That's okay. Do I still respect him? From what I've seen, yeah, I definitely still respect him, and I respect that he's trying to get his voice out there, and I respect, too, that he's also trying to, educate people on stuff like that's happening, and, yeah, not being fully talked about. And it should be talked about. I mean, that's what we do here, too. We take the smaller cases and